This one here is one that's got quite a bit of interest in the past, because if you look earlier in World War II, at the D-Day landings, Saving Private Ryan and movies of that ilk, you'll know that in June of 1944, the Allies had to recapture Europe. The Germans controlled all of heartland Europe. Right along the coast of France, they had German guns trained on England, because the channel was not that wide really. And the British and the Americans, the Allies, had to plan an invasion back onto heartland Europe to take Europe back for the Allies. And this entailed a hell of a lot of deception. That's the word subterfuge. It entailed a contract that they had to run on the Germans to make the Germans believe that, hey, they might be coming back onto Europe at Calais, which is the shortest route across the Channel. Not to go to the beaches of Normandy, which is the longest route across the Channel. And that's where they eventually went. June 1944, they actually established these beachheads. Now, the planning that went into that was absolutely amazing. It's just incredible that they managed to achieve it. Because they had to move entire armies and the infrastructure of armies across the Channel. They created these things called Mulberry Harbours. These great big concrete, hollow concrete floating buildings almost. And when they got them over to Normandy, they filled them full of water and sank them. So what do you suppose they would do that? They're called Mulberry Harbours. What would they do that for? You've seen the pictures from Saving Private Ryan. They're coming on shore at beaches, and what do you see in most beaches? Surf. You've got surf. It's very difficult to get people off a boat, and certainly to get tanks and the machinery of war off onto a beach. Very, very difficult. So what they did is they created these artificial harbours, right, over in England, towed them across the Channel, sank them down at the beaches of Normandy to create artificial wharves, so that the ships could actually unload tanks and all the machinery of war and so on, so they could go up to. Amazing. Now, how did they hide all of that process? They hid it from the Germans. I mean, the Germans must have had spies in England, knowing what was going on. And there's a whole lot of things that come out of that. Like, one of the things that's quite interesting, there was a crossword in the newspaper in London about 6 or 7 months before the D-Day landings, and all of the clues were the code names for the beaches that they landed on in Normandy in 1944, Utah, etc., and they're all clues in this crossword, and there's a huge furore about it, because they said, oh, how the hell does somebody know? And they had to be very discreet about it. So you'll find something out about that. So that's the D-Day landings 1944, and the duplicity, the subterfuge, that's what that word really means, that was needed in order to protect those landings to get back onto heartland Europe, all right? Okay?